Welcome. How everybody doing today? This is Twinsinc Talk, and I'm your host, Twinsinc. Now, some may be asking, wasn't the conversation Honest Talk? Yes, it was, but we had to change the name because there's another podcast group out there called Honest Talk. So, just to avoid any conflict today, I decided, you know what? Let me just change it so I don't have their people going to my page or people will go to their not page but podcast. So I just keep it basic and simple. So right now, everybody, you see the name probably has changed. It is now Twinsinc Talk. So welcome. So today the topic we want to talk about, we're going to talk about fathers. Father is, just because, with the media going on, with all this, trying to emasculate the man, the black man as well. But, we're just going to talk about fathers, period. So, father is the ones who sacrifice everything for the happiness of their child. Now, some people may not get that. Like, what do you mean we sacrifice? When we're going to say, we sacrifice everything as well, too. That's true. But some things are, just levels to this. So, we're going to go into a little deep information about this. Just give you a little understanding of what I'm talking about today. Got some notes today, so this ain't a lot of freestyling. Got some notes. So, let's start here. Sometimes fathers are tough. And we have to be tough. We live in this world now where we know being a male in this world, a lot of things are not given to us. You have to be tough. If you're not tough, the next person is going to walk all over you. So I mentioned this in the last video about, the kids having a mercy rule when it's football time. I have a problem with that because now everyone feels entitled, like, hey man, if one team is better than the other team should, let the other team score. I get it, but I don't get it. Because once you get to a point of competition, as far as the NFL, the NFL is a nitty gritty job, You may be a quarterback in the league for 5 years, right? Team is not so great, they're okay. But guess what? A rookie is gonna come in. And guess what? That rookie is gonna come for your job. And if this rookie happened to be a number one pick, guess what? More than likely you either have 1 or 2 years left in that current position. And guess what? Because they want to push the new famous guy into your position. So you have to be a fighter. Think about this. Tom Brady, he in the late 40s. Most quarterbacks do not play that long in their career, but he has. And he's still playing at a high level. But, in his case, they drafted a young Jimmy Garoppolo. And he was supposed to really take the ear of the Tom Brady-ness as Tom Brady was supposed to retire. And this was like 2 seasons ago, maybe 3. I lost count, so I'm not really watching anymore. But, yes, he was supposed to be the new guy there. But Tom Brady, being who he is, he decided, hey, I'm not going anywhere. So you can sit behind me if you want to, but I'm not going anywhere. And his play says that, okay, he still can play. Because if he wasn't playing as great, trust me, Belichick and whoever, they'd have benched him so Jimmy can get in the game. But the fact that Tom Brady has been still playing a high level, he didn't have to worry about that. But most other quarterbacks do not have that luxury. Or I'll say they're not as good as Tom Brady. Because most of the time when a new young guy comes in, the veteran player gets kicked right out. I mean, think about last year, Bakerfield. Bakerfield came in. I think Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Tyrod Taylor has been in the league for a while. Pretty good, decent quarterback. He's mobile, he can throw. But Baker Mayfield had a better promotion behind him, I'd say. More backing and more like, hey, man, this is the future of the Cleveland Browns. He was picked their first number 1 pick of last year or the year before, whatever. No, it was last year. He was the number 1 pick of last year. So by week 4, they was calling for him to get into the game. So that goes back to what I'm saying. If, not saying Tyrod didn't have the fire to keep playing, of course the odds are against them. But I'm saying that if you're not a tough grown up, when that situation comes, as far as hey, someone's come for your job, if you're not willing to fight for it, they're gonna walk over you and take it. You know, right now Bakerfield is the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Now I don't know where Terod's at. I want to say he's a second string somewhere. I think it was the Chargers. I can't remember, but he's somewhere. You know, he was a starter a couple of years ago with the Buffalo Bills. He was a backup for the Ravens. You know, he got a Super Bowl ring, but you know, his window has closed for him. So now he's still in the league, but he's a backup now. So you have to understand the reason why us fathers are tough on our kids, because we understand even, you know, even not even football. I mean, even at work, you know, you may be in a position you might want to be, let's say, a supervisor in your position. You've been there, let's say, 3 years. They hire someone right away. He comes in and he has a fire too, and regardless of time position, it's like who has the better numbers, who's the better leader. And if the person who's came in, you know, less than 6 months, he has the opportunity to jump ahead of you and get that position. But you know, as a man, you can't sit there and say, "Oh, I've been here 3 years. I'm entitled. This should be mine." No, it doesn't work like that. You have to go in. You have to come every day with your end game. You have to fight. So that's what I'm talking about. You know, you have to be tough. You have to have heart. You have to be willingness to go above and beyond. All right, let's see. Um, Fathers will raise the bar just as you're about to reach it. Yeah, that's true. You know, because if something's too easy, let's say for my son, I know he can do it, then I'm going to set the next, you know, set whatever the bar is a little bit higher. So he don't get it right away, but he has to work for it. You know, that's how things are supposed to be. You know, we can't just say, "Oh yeah, here you go, you got it, son. There you go." No, because then once he is not, let's say, not in the household and he's at school and they're playing baseball or kickball, something like that, and he doesn't get his way or he doesn't succeed in it, then he put his head down and he's pouting and he's mad because he didn't get his way. No, that's what we call a sore loser. You know, we're all gonna lose. So everybody can't be a winner, but you need to take that loss as a learning lesson. Say, all right, I didn't get it this time. What do I need to do next time to get better? So that's why we do things now to make it tougher for them, because you know we don't want to be too hard on the kids, but we have to be because we live in this cold world. And if you don't have to fight or the strength, you know, to try to get what you want, someone's going to take it. They're going to come right behind you and just, oh, thank you. Who wanted it more, you or him? All right, what else I got here? It's not that he doesn't care, meaning the father, us, but just the opposite. Fathers fear their children not being ready for the world. And because we know iron sharpens iron, meaning that we, I, I'm speaking from experience. So I'm very tough on my kids. I love my kids to death, but I know if I'm not a hard on them now, if they get out in the world's gonna be even harder. So I'll give you an example. See, with me, I'm big on my kids when I tell them, you know, listen, follow the instruction. Because if I'm saying, like, for me personally, if I tell you to do something, I shouldn't tell you it 3 or 4 or 5 times. Once I say one time, you heard me, that's it. And like, oh, you're so tough on them, they're just kids. They are, I get that. But what you have to understand is once they're out of this house, and I don't mean kicked out or grown, I'm talking about when they're not in the house, you know, when they're going back and forth to school, sports, work, whatever the case may be. Because we parents can't be around all the time. My parents wasn't always around, but I know how to handle myself when they weren't around. But what I'm getting at is that as you continue watching the news, you know, if a police officer give you an instruction, I mean, you have zero point 0.6 seconds to respond to that. So that's even less than what you may get if I say something to you. But the point I'm trying to make is that someone who has authority over you, you want to listen, be respectful. And I teach my kids, you got to, to earn respect, earn respect, give respect. It goes both ways. It's not just, you do everything somebody says and that's it. No, make sure you're being respected, but make sure you give them respect as well. So I teach my kids, it's very important that you listen and follow instructions. And someone tell you to do something, depending, I mean, there's different levels to what it is, but you make sure you follow instruction, you listen, because your life matters. And at the end of the day, I want you to get to my age of 37, I'm about to be 38, 37, and alive, and having your own kids, and you're having this conversation with them. That's one of the main fears of a father is that, our kids being taken away from us, and that's happened a lot nowadays. So yes, I'm gonna be very tough on my kids, but it's not because I'm just want to be this mad army sergeant dad. It's the fact that I'm preparing them for the real world, for when they leave the house and they have to work and go on the street and driving. They know how to handle themselves and they can come home at the end of the day. Let's see. All right. So he is willing to be misunderstood in the short term in exchange to show his love for the long term. And pretty much what that means is that, you know what, we're okay with being the bad guy now. We do. We're okay with that. You don't gotta like me now. I told my wife this the other day. I said, I love my kids to death, but I'm not their friend. Not their friend. I'm their dad. I'm their father. So my job is to get them prepared for the real world. So while you're under this household, deja vu, right? You can go by my rules. And then once you get older and you get on your own, then you're going to understand it. So that's what that part where it says later on, more understanding long term. Like, man, if my dad was still alive, he passed away, health concerns. That's a whole other video, but he passed away before his time. But of course, if he was still alive, I would have that. I would love to sit down and talk to him. Like, man, Dad, remember you used to do this? Thank you. I didn't get it when I was young, but now I do understand, and I want to thank you for that, because if I didn't get that, no telling where I could have been or what could have happened to me. But it makes sense now. I understand. So that's one of the things that we say is that right now Daddy's so mean. I don't want to talk to him. He always say no. He always says this. And sometimes I can have a house full of snacks. Daddy, can I get some chips? No. No. And not that I don't want to have it, but sometimes you gotta say no to the kids so they can understand that, everything is not always promised to them. Nothing is always guaranteed. You have to work and earn things around here. I'm not the type of father that, if you do certain things, hey, sure, go ahead. No problem. But if I gotta tell you to do something 3 or 4 times, no. I refuse to fight with you, especially when I'm telling you exactly what I need you to do. So, at the end of the day, fathers continue being fathers. Just know that there's fathers like me out there that understand where you're coming from. This is definitely not a bash woman, nothing like that. This is for my men out there. This is for the fathers out there who's holding it down.